1996. We are having an interview with Helen Leb. Helen, you spoke about a girlfriend whose boyfriend was in the army.
Yes.
Could you continue?
And to repeat from the beginning, or no? And she showed me the letter from the boyfriend, later married him, and the boyfriend said to him, "You will not believe this beautiful thing, what I sent it to you, this is just a gunshot." He shot the Jews from the home and took everything from them and sent it back to Hungary.
What year was that, if you remember?
This was the year when Hitler gave back Czechoslovakia, part of Czechoslovakia and part of Romania. It was just 2 years. One it was, I think, 37 or 38, and the other one it was at 40. And the war started in 39.
That's correct, September 1st, 1939.
Yes, 39. So they destroyed Poland. It was a blitzkrieg for Poland, right? So from there, they get the letter. And weekly the packages for the gunshot.
But when you were younger, did you have, with any children who were not Jewish, any experience that was anti-Semitic?
They didn't talk to us anymore.
When did that start, in 1933?
This started before he gave back Czechoslovakia, because the border between my town and Czechoslovakia, it was just 30 kilometers. We were in the ghetto barracks as later on. But they didn't talk, and it was a partisan organization who came down to our town because it was close to the Czechoslovak border. And they were very, very bad. We were afraid for them. They broke the windows, vitrines for businesses. When we went upstairs in that year, on the beginning, we still have our business, we saw how they put out on the windows the Nazi organization's flag. You
now
know,
this...
it was, I prescribe you, then a Cold War against the Jews before the ghetto, 2-3 years.
And you said that you always felt there was some anti-Semitism in your town.
Yes.
But you would say that the first sign of it getting worse was 1933, when the Hungarians were very pleased that Hitler came to power.
Yes, with Hitler's speech. I will never forget this. I told you once, and I don't want to repeat myself again. I don't understand his words, but it was not too many radio. It was 5-6 radio to go from my home to the second business to hear it. How he was yelling, and right away. I don't tell you next day, but in short time, we felt my country, it's a very good follower for Hitler, but Hungary always have this thing. When you will see Hungary, he have very little Hungarian king. He went to Poland. He started with the monarch, you know. He always was a follower, not a leader, these people.
Now, you were 11 years old when Hitler came to power in 1933.
Yes.
How did your life change and your family's life change in the next year, the following year, between 1933 and 1938?
We have to live with the hatred from the Hungarian. We have to live permanent harassment from the organizations, and they took our business away from
When
us.
did they take your business away?
The business they took away in 38 or 39.
And
So we stayed 5 years there to the ghetto time.
you had 2 stores. They took both stores?
Both of us.
Do you remember how that happened? Do you remember that day when you learned that they were taking your stores?
You know, it's a business certificate in my country also to have a store. And my mother sent me to the mayor of the city, of the town, and said, you have to give to him these 2 certificates. And he looked at me and said, I have to take this from you. And when the English will come back in this country, I will give it to you back. That's what she said. And after 1944, when we came back, my sister Rose said, go and ask for the certificate. And still he was on the power. And I said to him, you promised me you will give back my mother's business certificate. Give it back the same way. He gave it to me back. He gave it to me back, yeah. But the communists, it was a second story. They didn't let you to have your own business. They didn't let you to cry what happened to you in these years, because the ghetto and the concentration camp, that was the tragic end, that to live with these people from 1933, from 36, from the organization, the partisan Hungarian part organization, it was very hard. Or to go and to have, to mention for you, you a stinky Jew.
That was in 1938 when they took the businesses away.
The business certificate, 38, 37 and 38 in the...
Did you remember hearing anything about what was happening in Germany and Austria to Jews?
Yes, yes.
What did you hear about them?
In my town, have a lot of little towns. Every town have Jewish people. And we have cousins there. And they came to Mom and said, some Slovak people told them young girls was taken from German and they taking in immoral
A bordello?
Yeah, to the soldier.
For prostitution.
Yeah, for prostitute. Yes, this is. And my mom died. I don't let them to tell us. You know, just many times I see my mom is like, why you crying, Mom? What will be with everybody will be with us. Don't be sad. Live for day by day, but don't be upset.
Did they try to take your home away from you, or did you remain?
In that time, no.
You remained in your house?
In that time, no. In that time, no. It was about 1943 when the Jewish people was bothered for the citizenship, who cannot can show it. The great parents was already Hungarian citizen, then it was a problem, a big problem.
Why was it a problem?
They take them out with children and with the parents and have to leave there everything. It was two or three family my town. Take it away. We never heard from them. Never, because how can be somebody Hungarian citizen when it was a monarch? Nobody was Hungarian, but the Jews have to show it. So my mom was called up once to the police.
When was that? When, what year, if you remember, was she called to the police?
This was in 1943.
43.
She called to the police and have to bring all the family. So we was waiting to get out from the house and send it in some place.
What happened between well, let me go back. When World War II started on September 1st, and you were living in Hungary, how did you hear about that? Do you remember the moment you heard that Germany invaded Poland?
Yes, you know, for my feeling, and we were Hungarian school, and they teached us very patriotic. And this patriotic feeling went with us all the way. This patriotic feeling. We don't believe it's Horthy, who was the governor of Hungary. We don't believe that it was his fault because of the Jews are persecuted. We don't believe that.
So you liked Horthy?
We believe it's the German. The German, it's get a big bite of Hungary, and they took the power from Horthy, and they did all the bad things, you know, but they did it together.
So now you believe that Horthy was part of what
They
happened?
did it together, yes.
And while you were living before the Germans, or the Hungarians with the Germans, took over and marched the Jews out, how were you surviving if they took your business away, if most Jews lost their businesses?
We have money, because my mom had for everybody money. You know, the business was very good between the Czechoslovak border in Hungary. We sold a lot of goods, a lot of stuff, a lot of flowers, 4 or 5 big carriages daily, when they were all Jewish customers for us. So we made money, so we had the money. There it was not a bank to deposit the money in the bank or give a check or something like that. And my sister Sarah and me, we have to be bookkeepers there, because the Hungarian people made out taxes of these stores who selling food to help the agriculture people to get the grain.
You became a bookkeeper?
Yes, I was very young, but I have to do it. My sister, Sarah, she was perfect. She was perfect. She was very good and very intelligent. And she taught me when she had to go to school or something, I have to do it. And when I not did it the right thing, the right way, she said, how many times I have to explain you how to have to do it. So I have to do it.
Where were you a bookkeeper?
I think I was 16, 17 years old, when, but just a few years, because they closed the store.
So you were the bookkeeper for the store with
for
your
my
sister?
store, yes.
And what happened to you and your sisters and your mother between 1939 and 1944.
We don't have any more businesses, and many young people went to the capital, Budapest, to find work and to work there.
If they were Jewish, could they find work in Budapest at that time?
They find Hungarian papers. And in Budapest, it still was Jewish businesses in that time. My mom said, don't go. Don't go. That life is not for you. She was right, and I never go. And my sister never go. We cannot get married because all the boys was in labor camp.
When did they start sending the boys to labor camp?
The labor camp start when about my brother went to the army, about 35.
To the Hungarian army?
Yeah. The army was about 2 years, I think. But in the second year, in 36, he was already the labor camp. I think that in that time, I cannot give you, but in that time, start the labor camp.
And then what happened to your brother?
I don't know how to explain to you. The Hungarians put some on the how you working to get exploded. What is that?
Mines?
Mines. Many armies send pigs and animals to find out is mined or not. The Hungarians said the Jewish boys
should go out, walk on
to
that.
find out, yes.
And your brother was one of them.
You know, Rita, you can write on this a novel from this life. And in our city special was a very, very hard life because we were too close to the border and we are untrusted people.
So, for your brother?
So this was from 30, 35, 37, 39. They took our store and we have money to live. We didn't miss nothing. And in 1944, in April 19, I don't know you remember that, the German occupied Hungary.
But until that time, you lived the same way, on your savings.
Yeah, we lived the same way. We don't want to go to the capital of Hungary to work there. We stayed with my mom.
And you no longer went to school?
Excuse me?
You no longer went to school?
No.
Were you stopped from going to school in a certain year, or?
My mother bought us lexicons and dictionaries, and I have all the novels what I want.
Did they stop you? Did the government stop you from going to school?
Yes. It was a law, the numerus clausus. I think when I was already born, a few years it was that. The numerus clausus, you know, when it's numbered, how many Jews have to have high schools or diplomas, and the numerus nullus, when nobody can get in the school.
Did the Hungarians make you wear a yellow badge or a star?
In April 19, how I mentioned to you before, when the German occupied Hungary, we have to put up the star.
In 1944.
You know, Gentile people with whom my mother make out business all that years, good business with a lot of money. And I don't want to put up the star right away. And the bookkeeper from them come, put it on the yellow star because I will go to the police to tell them. So I better listen to him.
So in April 1944, your mother, your sisters, you, all had to wear the star like
Yes.
every other Jew.
Yes, we have to go to the ghetto. I remember it was Passover for the Jewish people, and came the order, the Jews have to go to the ghetto of Berexaz.
What was the name of the ghetto?
Berexaz, BEREGZAZ. This was there. It was the ghetto,
How far was the ghetto from your home?
about 40 kilometers.
So you had to leave your home,
Everything,
everything. No suitcases,
nothing.
no pictures.
They took first in the Jewish temple, separated the women from the men, and we stayed there, I think, about 2 nights, because I think for the very close towns, they brought the people also there. It was a lot of people. And then all the people, the Gentile people who occupied it agriculture and have car with horses or with cows. There it was a custom, big cows was put in the car, and with that car they transported. So this was the way how they transported us from the Jewish temple to the ghetto of Berexaz, with cow and horse and cows. It was a terrible trip, one day, the 40 kilometers, from early morning to late night. And who have the car with the horse, she told my mother with what kind of news came home from the front, the Hungarian soldiers. My mother cried. He told him honest everything, how they killing the Jews there, how they raping the young girls, the women, everything he told. So we know what will be with us. We heard from him. We were in the ghetto 4 weeks. It was terrible.
What was
You cannot wash yourself, to have a privacy.
Was the ghetto another part of the city where there were already
This
apartments?
was some big factories. I cannot tell you what you building a home, what you building, what is the thread?
Bricks.
Bricks, a bricks factory. All the Jews in Hungary, in every city where it was ghetto, it was in a bricks factory.
No privacy.
No privacy, and I don't know how my sister get a big, very big dish, and it was privacy to sleep because it was the barracks there, you know. And he bought water to wash ourselves every morning. And then it was a problem who have a lot of children and no hygiene to do that. So a few young people with me, we went and cleaned them and combed them. For one of the lady came the news, the husband died in the washroom front. She was a very religious woman. She came somebody to cut in her dress, and all she said Shiva in the ghetto.
She tore up the dress as
yes,
a sign of mourning.
And all the children, she cannot take care of the children, young children. And we a few people. I'm mentioning this because later on I will tell them. So we take care, we comb them and we clean them and wash the hair and wash the body and we give them to eat. So that was my occupation because we were there 4 weeks. I went with this lady, I remember. I went all the way. And we went to the 3rd transport. It was every week. It was the 1st, the 2nd, and we have the 3rd one.
And your whole
And
family?
it was one more, the 4th.
Your whole family was sent on the same transport?
Oh yeah, we were with my mom and just my sister Elizabeth. She lived in Shomkuta, in Transylvania. And the brother, she write me a letter. He write me a letter and he said, I'm very busy. I have to wash. Then I know the front is coming already back.
That was a letter from your brother?
Yeah.
In 1944?
Yes.
Did you, in 1944, did you know about Auschwitz? Did you know about the death camps?
No. They who told us this story never tell the name. And in Auschwitz we have to write letters home.
But you did not know about Auschwitz before you left?
No, not Auschwitz and not Birkenau. I have no knowledge of this.
So
we went to the 3rd transport. And about 70 was in a wagon. All these Hungarian Gentile people start when they took us to the ghetto. They start on the walking road all the way, and it's no motion. They were no emotional about us. Some of them make out cross, the cross. Some of them making out cross, and this I find when we went with the 3rd transport, and we were 70, and no water and no food. One of them old man, I know him very well. He was a nice old man. He died. We cannot put him down, and they don't give us nothing. But the first stop of this transport, what it was, cow wagons.
Cow wagons?
Cow wagons, yes. No, just very little window with the gates. It was a Slovak city, Košice, Kosha. There it was where the Hungarian gave the Jewish people on German hand in Košice. And we looked out on that small windows and we saw a lot of people from my country, from my city, my town.
Did you cross the border in these wagons?
Košice, that was Slovakia, but belongs to Hungary. Hitler gave them back.
Yes.
We crossed, I don't know, remember where I crossed the Polish border. I cannot recollect. And when we were in Poland,
Helen,
I think 4 days.
let us take a break now.